that what you want, Mohsen? Huh?
Feels even harder.
That's what I was saying.
It smells like snow. And look, someone's really
Look,
tight.
hold on, whisper.
Look, on the wire. Stop crying. I actually nobody's shoes tied up today. Stop a ball.
Can we just stop arguing? Have it too. Yeah. I can stop in the middle.
Oh, she's in the middle. Stop the box. Oh, stop it.
enough about that one. Hits a little different. They have to deal with it. I don't know what it is. Can't figure that out. But not all balls are equal. I love it, Jonas. I mean, depends on who you ask. I got to tell you, Jonas, you are a hit in Hawaii. They love you on the Big Island. Just trying to find out who that is. But actually, I'm glad you brought that up, smart ass. Let me go ahead and pull something for you. Everybody says all you do is read the negative stuff. And then, after about a month, a mailman gave a letter. A letter. Actually, it was this thing called an Arabic that had been popular during World War II. A single lightweight page that folded over. Lightweight because, airman. Which is a funny thing, to handwrite an overseas letter in response to an email. But he was an older guy. I imagined his assistant printing out his emails for him. I opened it up. It begins, Dear Dr. Kestenberg, thank you for your email message dated 9 December 1997. I remember being excited to get it, but also pretty quickly disappointed. It's a very boring letter. He did answer my question in a very detailed and technical way. Quote, the earliest reference to Higgs boson phenomenon was in the late Ben Lee's talk as rapporteur at the 1972 Rochester conference at Fermi. And it was filled with stuff like this, names and dates. Quote, it is possible, however, that the terminology was being used before the 1972 conference, following Hooft's rediscovery of Anderson wrote Anglais, Higgs et al. Mechanism the previous year. It was a kind of frustrating experience I was having with a lot of scientists. They give you tons of detail that no one else would care about or could possibly remember. And as to my request to talk on the phone for a few minutes, which is my real hope, nothing. I pinned the letter up to my cubicle with a thumbtack. Then, after a while, moved into a drawer. 14 years went by. In 2012, nearly 50 years after Higgs wrote that this particle might exist, we learned it really did, just as he had said it. Giant teams of physicists managed to make and detect some Higgs particles at the CERN laboratory in Europe. It was a massive multi-billion-dollar effort. Peter Higgs won the Nobel Prize for it the following year. The letter still sat in a drawer at my house. I got married, had kids. Last year, I came across the letter again. Finally stuck it in a frame. Should I say where it is? It's in the bathroom. And then, a few months ago, Peter Higgs died. He was 94 years old. I went back and read the letter again. Really, for the first time since I'd gotten it, almost 25 years ago. And I got very emotional reading it. There's something in there that the younger me had been unable to see or appreciate. What Peter Higgs was doing in this letter was going out of his way to try to give credit to everyone else. Some scientists spend their lives angling for a Nobel Prize. Higgs was trying to downplay his role, to put it in its proper context. It was generous. Taking the time to write it all carefully out and send it to a reporter across the ocean they'd never met. I went online and found a recording of Higgs talking at a press conference after he won the Nobel. Actually, he shared the prize with another guy. In the press conference, he's doing the same thing he was in that letter.
A lot of people seem to think that I did all this single-handed. It was actually part of a theoretical program which had been started in 1960. The man who really initiated it was Yorikiro Nambu, originally from Japan, who's now back in Japan. So it's part of a story which goes back at least to 1960, and 1964 was just what turned out to be a rather successful episode in that story.
In the press conference, Higgs also mentions this thing I never knew, which is that he only wrote about the particle in the first place sort of by chance. His first draft of his now famous paper was actually rejected by the journal he tried to publish it in. So he went back and basically added a few lines, mentioning that if all the other stuff was true, there might be a new particle also. One people could find someday. Higgs wasn't the only one who could have done what he did. But what he did was remarkable.
And at the end of the day, he was the one who got to carry the baton over the finish line. When I look back at the letter now, I think it seems like a nice guy for that to happen to. I'm glad it was him.
Yeah, guess I'm now senior editor of our show. Coming up, somebody has an urgent and deeply personal request for the U.S. Army. Also, other letters in a minute. Just talk about radio and our program.